Self-awareness is fundamental to being human, yet many of us move through life without truly understanding who we are. It's not that we don't think about ourselves. Rather, we often do it in the wrong context. We get so caught up in seeking external validation, conforming to social expectations, and worrying about the judgments of others that we lose touch with our own identity. Think about it. How much of your day is spent worrying about what others think of you? How often do you make decisions based not on your own needs or desires, but on what you believe will make you more likable, acceptable, or successful in the eyes of others? It's easy to fall into that trap, and it's not entirely our fault. Society, from the moment we are born, conditions us to seek validation. As children, we're praised for good behavior and criticized for stepping out of line. As we grow, external judgment becomes more pervasive. Social media magnifies it. We post photos, we share updates, and each like, comment, or lack thereof feels like a measure of our worth. But the truth is, constantly seeking external validation pulls us further from understanding who we truly are. Without self-awareness, personal growth is impossible. Personal growth is about evolving into the best version of yourself. But here's the thing, you can't grow if you don't know what needs to change. You can't improve areas of your life if you aren't aware of your strengths, weaknesses, fears, and desires. Self-awareness is the mirror that reflects the truth of who you are right now. While that reflection may sometimes reveal things you don't want to see, it's the only way to truly know where you stand. Only with a clear picture of yourself can you begin the process of growth. Self-awareness isn't just about recognizing the bad, it's also about celebrating the good. We often focus on our flaws, the things we want to change, and we forget to appreciate the parts of ourselves that are beautiful and strong. Being self-aware means understanding both sides of the coin, your imperfections as well as your unique qualities. When you recognize what makes you special, that's when real confidence begins to grow. It's not the kind of confidence that comes from 100 Instagram likes or compliments from your boss. It's the quiet, unshakable kind of confidence that comes from truly knowing yourself and being comfortable with who you are. Now, let's talk about the judgments of others. I know this is easier said than done, but one of the most liberating things you can do for yourself is to stop caring about what others think. Think about how many opportunities you've passed up, how many dreams you've put on hold, and how many authentic parts of yourself you've hidden away. All because you were worried about being judged. Maybe it was that job you didn't apply for because you thought you weren't good enough, or that hobby you didn't pursue because it didn't align with how others see you. Here's the truth. People will judge you no matter what you do. It's human nature. We all do it, consciously or unconsciously. But the important thing to remember is that their judgments are based on their own fears, insecurities, and limited understanding of your life. What people think of you says more about them than it does about you. Once you truly internalize this, it's like a weight lifts off your shoulders. You're no longer living for others. You're living for yourself. Ignoring the judgments of others doesn't mean being reckless or self-centered. It's about tuning out the noise so that you can hear your own voice. It's about trusting that inner compass that guides you to what feels right for you, rather than constantly seeking approval. When you live in alignment with your true self, your decisions, relationships, and even failures start to feel more meaningful. You begin to understand that not everyone will grasp your path, and that's okay because it's your path, not theirs. Now, I'm not suggesting this is easy. Learning to ignore the opinions of others takes time, practice, and a lot of self-compassion. You might slip up, and that's okay. Each time you feel the sting of judgment, use it as a reminder to return to yourself. Ask yourself, am I doing this because it feels true to me, or because I want someone else's approval? When you start living in alignment with your true self, the opinions of others naturally begin to matter less. Why? Because you're so rooted in your own sense of purpose that external noise loses its hold over you. The irony is that when you stop caring so much about what others think, you start attracting the right kind of attention. You radiate authenticity, and people are drawn to that. Authenticity is magnetic because it's rare. Most people are too busy pretending to be something they're not to fit in. So when someone shows up as their true self, it's refreshing. This doesn't mean everyone will like you. Far from it. But the ones who do will connect with you on a much deeper level. These are the relationships worth cultivating, built on mutual respect, understanding, and acceptance. Now, let's talk about the journey of personal growth. Growth is never a straight line. It's messy, full of ups and downs, and often uncomfortable. You'll have moments where you feel like you're making incredible progress. And then, out of nowhere, something knocks you down and you question everything. That's part of the process. The key is to keep going. Personal growth isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about showing up for yourself every day, even when it's hard, even when it feels like you're not making any progress. A big part of personal growth is learning to let go. Let go of the need for perfection, let go of past mistakes, and most importantly, let go of the expectations others place on you. You'll never be able to please everyone, and that's okay. What's more important is that you're growing into the person you want to be. At the end of the day, you're the one who has to live with yourself. So why not make that relationship the most important one? Something that often gets overlooked in conversations about personal growth is self-compassion. We talk a lot about pushing ourselves to improve, but what happens when we stumble? What happens when we fail? Too often, we're our own harshest critics. We beat ourselves up for not being good enough, for not progressing fast enough, or for making mistakes. But growth doesn't happen without failure. In fact, failure is an essential part of growth. It's in those moments of falling short that we learn the most about ourselves. Our resilience, our capacity for change, and our ability to get back up. Self-awareness, personal growth, and ignoring the judgments of others are all interconnected. You can't have one without the others. The more self-aware you become, the more you grow. The more you grow, the more you realize that the opinions of others are irrelevant to your journey. And the more you let go of those opinions, the freer you become to live the life you truly want. It's not an overnight transformation, and it's not something you achieve and then forget about. It's a lifelong process, but every step you take brings you closer to a more authentic, fulfilling, and empowered life. So, if there's one takeaway from today's video, let it be this. Start listening to yourself more than you listen to others. Trust yourself, honor your own path, and keep growing, even when it feels difficult. You'll be amazed at what happens when you stop letting the world dictate who you should be and start living in alignment with who you truly are.